Hello, dear viewers, wherever you are around the world and here in Rwanda, we welcome you to this latest edition of the News in English with me, Sarah Shinhori. As always, we will begin with the headlines. President Paul Kagame and First Lady Jeannette Kagame have arrived in Paris, France, where they have joined other heads of state and government for the 19th Summit of La Francophonie. Rwanda has emerged as a top performer in the inaugural World Bank Business Ready 2024 report, highlighting the country's progress in creating a conducive business environment. And on the international scene, most hospitals in the Khartoum area of Sudan have been destroyed or evacuated as fighting in the capital continues. Now the details. Thank you for taking the time to join us. I'll be sitting in for Martina Abera. President Paul Kagame and the First Lady of Rwanda, Excellency Jeannette Kagame, have arrived in Paris, France, where they have joined other heads of state and government for the 19th Summit of La Francophonie, co-hosted by International Organization of La Francophonie Secretary General Louise Mushikiwabo and French President Emmanuel Macron. Held under the theme Create, Innovate and Do Business in French, the summit will have a special focus on youth employment. On the first day of the summit, that is on Friday, the President and the First Lady will attend the opening ceremony in a town 80 kilometers northeast of Paris, where French was declared the official language of France in 1539, replacing Latin. Later in the evening, they will join other dignitaries for a dinner hosted by President Macron and the First Lady of France. On the second day of the summit, President Kagame will attend a closed roundtable session of renewed multilateralism chaired by President Macron, followed by a closed-door session. The summit will conclude with the adoption of a declaration. Now, before we continue this edition, let us also inform you that President Paul Kagame has met and held a meeting with the President of the European Council, Charles Michel. Rwanda and the European Union have a long-standing partnership focusing on promoting global governance and cooperation in international institutions, promoting the sustainable and inclusive development of Rwanda, as well as increasing trade and investment. Now, speaking of trade and investment, Rwanda has been ranked among the top economies in the World Bank's Business Ready Report 2024, excelling in public services and operational efficiency. This positions the nation as a model for developing countries aiming to enhance their business environments. We have the details on that with Adam Squizera.
This was reiterated in Washington, D.C. at the launch of Business Ready 2024. This new report points on doing business, offering deeper insights into global business environments, helping guide policy reforms for stronger private sector growth. Columbia University Professor Mauricio Cadnes, citing Rwanda as an example, pointed out that when government opens its door to business, it can significantly contribute to a country's development. The Chief Executive Officer of RDB, Francis Gatari, highlighted Rwanda's transformation journey in fast-tracking private sector-led economic development.
But was always based on a domestic vision, a national vision for a development model that puts private capital at the center of our economy. We realized early on that government is important, but is inadequate to cause development to happen. So while we didn't know how to catalyze private sector, we had to start learning and understand how to do it. And so the predecessor to Be Ready, the Doing Business report, was very important for us in providing the kind of benchmarking that we could see how the best global reformers actually do it. And it provided a learning platform for us to continue to see what kind of ambitious reforms we could possibly engage in.
Francis Gatari emphasized that the willingness of the government and its partners is a key factor in contributing to the development of Rwanda's economy.
We realized that we have got to create a framework for dialogue between private and public sector, because sometimes businesses can, have some zero-sum tendencies until when a platform is created to discuss the national priorities. So in our country, Rwanda, the private sector and public sector have a platform to discuss.
Rwanda has been recognized as one of the top performers globally in several key areas, reflecting its ongoing efforts to improve the business environment and attract investors. The country ranked third globally in operational efficiency, 8th in public services, and 17th in the regulatory framework. Adam Squizera, RwandaTV News.
Thank you, Adams. Now, members of the Peace and Security Committee in countries of the Northern Corridor say that meeting again after more than 5 years offers hope for continued collaboration, particularly in combating various crimes that include cross-border crimes, human trafficking, drug trafficking, and others. The details with William Evans Mutabazi.
Representatives of the Northern Corridor, which is made up of a total of 6 countries, including Rwanda, held a meeting today in Kigali to discuss how best they can find solutions to the issues affecting these countries. Retired Commissioner of Police Vianney Nshimiyimana, who is the head of Small Arms and International Cooperation Department in the Ministry of Interior, believes there are various issues that need to be discussed in this meeting, especially since it has been over 5 years since these entities last convened. Security involves quite a number of factors, as you heard in the different speeches. Without security, there can never be tangible development. So, our conversations will focus on transnational crimes, human and drug trafficking, and poachers, among other things, but also look into how we can exchange convicted criminals to serve their sentences in their respective countries. Although each member country was supposed to send its representative to this meeting, there was no representation from South Sudan, even when this country is a member. Mr. Thomas Seka from Kenya's Ministry of Internal Security and National Administration highlighted that trade cooperation among countries in the Northern Corridor is not feasible with the continued insecurities in the region.
Basically, the main objective for the project was to facilitate smooth flow of trade. But trade and economic development cannot happen without peaceful security. So our main objective is to ensure the transport routes, the Northern Corridor, right from the port to our other neighboring countries, who we do a lot of trade with, our biggest trading partners, apart from our neighborliness, that there's very smooth flow of goods which are in transit.
The Peace and Security Group, as one of the 14 entities in the framework of the Northern Corridor countries, is dedicated to peacekeeping, conflict resolution, and regional security cooperation. This peace and security convergence has happened when preparations are underway for a summit of heads of state from the Northern Corridor, which is expected to take place before the end of this year. William Evans, Mutabazi, RwandaTV News.
Thank you, William. Now, Equity Bank Rwanda has officially launched a new loan form for investors in the health sector. Equity is the first bank that has introduced this new form of loans in the country, and it will work with its stakeholders in a way that will reduce the interest paid on such loans, with the aim of improving the quality of health services provided here in the country. And Nola Gladys Venibana with the details.
Normally, it used to take a long process, and it was not affordable for people operating business on a small scale to invest in the health sector and get a loan in commercial banks. Some of the people working in the health sector explains how they will benefit from this.
One of the key challenges we have is cash flow. We import products from abroad, and you want to pay your invoices. So when you have supplied, let's say, to clienteles, big clienteles are the insurance companies, for instance, and you have some delays in payments or some payments that are withheld, you find it challenging because you don't have that cash and you need that cash to pay your invoices. That is a common problem that we have in the sector. So when you see a bank that comes up with a product, a specific product for the private sector, the private health sector, it can only encourage us to work better and provide better healthcare services to the general population.
Some of the challenges that the private health sector is facing is, like we said, it's access to financing. And the issue is around things like the level of collateral that is required the interest rates, and the loan terms. Now, in working with Equity Bank, the design of the loan products have taken this into consideration and tried to reduce that burden. So, for example, to be more flexible in terms of the interest rates, to reduce the level of collateral that is required, and also to extend the loan terms to make it more flexible. That way, it then is more attuned to addressing the key issues for private health sector players. Because with private health sector players, you don't treat them the same way that you treat other businesses, where you have returns quickly. This is a longer term business, and working with the private health sector, you need a longer term approach to providing loans for them. And I think this is just the beginning. I think going forward, as the financing sector with the health sector work together, there's going to be better understanding of how this sector operates, and going forward, we are likely to see better products being developed as we move forward.
After observing several sort of challenges faced by investors in the health sector and benefits found in giving them loans, this Thursday, Equity Bank has introduced a new way it will use to give loans to investors in health sectors. The managing director of Equity Bank in Rwanda, Mr. Hannington Namara, points out that they will give loans with the purpose of building hospitals, importing medication, and for buying modern machines used at the hospital, and several others.
To help them access finance easily, because now we understand the challenges, the risks, the opportunities that are in the medical sector, and those products have been designed to address some of those problems that initially would stop medical actors to get loans from banks. So we've launched these products today with the support of our partners, USAID, IREME, and the UN Fraternity, and the other partners that we're working with to ensure that, one, financing becomes easy to access, two, it becomes affordable, because we know that the medical sector needs to be affordable. That's the reason we have designed these products to address the issue of cost of finance. Together with the partners, we've agreed we are going to continue working together to look for ways that we can continue to lower interest rates so that the cost of doing business for the medical actors becomes lower and lower and lower, so they can provide services to the communities at an affordable rate. I think where the major complaint was on the loans, and today that's what we've put forward.
So far, Equity Bank Rwanda has more than 1,300,000 clients. It provides financial services to people, including giving loans to different institutions and even loans to people themselves. Enora Gladys, RwandaTV News.
Now to agricultural matters. Rwanda's Ministry of Agriculture and Animal Resources has pointed out that increasing the output that comes from the agricultural sector on the continent should go hand in hand with changing mindsets. On Wednesday in Kigali, a three-day conference began bringing together different stakeholders in agriculture and animal resources from 30 different countries. Enola Gladys Benimana continues.
Most of those who attended this conference are the ones who do cattle breeding activities, vegetable and fruit growers, the ones who take these products to industries and other related activities such as veterinary medicine. They explained some possible solutions to be applied to increase the productivity of their work.
Goods to Rwanda country, and our product is very good, and this exhibition is really very good, nice, and Rwanda is also a nice country for cows, sheep, for large animals. We have injections, borders, and oral suspension, all area of the veterinary medicines. We'll use the medicine to treat the disease. For them to grow, such as multivitamins, ivermectins, and oxytocin, such products.
Be success about dairy business, you need a good genetic, what is ready for a lot of milk production, right? You need a really good quality and enough forage feed and other concentrate feed as well. You need a good technical background on the farm, the good farm management, and really high quality feed background. So altogether will be the success milk production and the success activity end of the road. So In Europe, we have many different kind of breeds. We have a nice standard product. We have a nice formulation, basic with forage feed, because ruminants has a forced stomach. So for ruminants need a lot of fiber, a lot of forage feed like silage, like straw, like hay, like fresh grass, and so on. Also they need, of course, protein and energy sources, so concentrate feed, special additives, and others as well. And this is a really nice complex activity, and agrofeed is already here in the local market in Rwanda.
The State Minister of the Ministry of Agriculture and Animal Resources, Eric Rwigamba, points out that people working in this sector did a good job, which can help in food satisfaction.
To address the problem of food insecurity, the solution is the government trying to work with the private sector to increase production and productivity. And how we're doing it is to provide subsidies in terms of seeds, in terms of fertilizers, in terms of interest rates, and in terms of agriculture insurance. All those factors of production, what they do is to help de-risk the agriculture as the sector, increase production and productivity, and hence addressing the issue of food insecurity.
The Ministry of Agriculture and Animal Resources point out that the problem of climate change is a big challenge to people carrying out agricultural activities in Rwanda. Between 20% and 30% of the land is already under cultivation. Another thing is that 21% of households are still under food insecure case. In Africa, 31% of children are facing stunting. This is the fourth time that such conference took place that brings together agricultural and livestock workers that has been held in Rwanda. This time it was attended by more than 200 people. Enora Gladys, RwandaTV News.
Thank you, Enora. Now to the education sector, where the University of Medical Science and Technology Rwanda on Wednesday celebrated the inaugural batch of medical and dentistry students to be accredited in the country. William Evans Mutabazi with the details.
The University of Medical Science and Technology was established in 1996 in Sudan with over 7,000 students and 17 colleges. Following the conflict in Sudan, students of this university were transferred to Rwanda to enable them to complete their studies. This year, the university was fully accredited by the Rwanda Medical Council and the Higher Education Council.
We have started here after the war. If Sudan erupted, the founder of the university, Professor Mamoun, who is the chancellor of the university, opted actually to get students here in Rwanda so that they complete their studies here in Rwanda. So that now we are coming to a receptive community, a very well receptive people, and together we come out with a blend of a group of young doctors so that they look after mankind with professionalism, dignity, respecting mankind, and offering their best knowledge in order to boost the health condition.
Some of the students we talked to revealed that after their study program, they wish to stay and work here because Rwanda is a safe and secure country to live and work in. While Rwandan students are happy that they do not have to go abroad for studies anymore.
I was extremely excited since all I heard about Rwanda are good things. I heard that it's very clean, it's very advanced, and unlike other African countries, I feel like it's a great country. And as soon as I came from the airport, I have been pleasantly surprised, and every day I continue to learn more about the country and to visit new places. And I would like, if it wasn't in Africa, just going to the places, seeing the scenery, the people, the buildings, the roads, the cleanliness. I would say it's a country from Europe. I have plans to stay in Rwanda since I really like the country, and I think it's a good country to live in, to study in, and to build your social life in.
I'm in the Faculty of Dentistry here at UMST. Normally, as Rwandan students, we go abroad, we go to USA, to Canada, to many different countries to be able to have this kind of education. But UMST has made it possible for us to be able to acquire the same knowledge, but in our country.
His Excellency Musa Khalid, Ambassador of Sudan to Rwanda, applauded the strong relationship between Rwanda and Sudan that goes beyond academic exchange and scientific cooperation.
I would like to express my appreciation on behalf of my government of Sudan for His Excellency President Kagame, who opened doors for African and Sudanese in particular. Everyone knows that we have a war right in Sudan, but Rwanda opened doors for us, for our students, for our Sudanese community to come and live in this beautiful and peaceful country. So we appreciate that open door policies for Sudanese. But in particular, this event, I would like to say that UMST, it represents the good essence of our relation in academic exchange. It is a symbol for our education cooperation, for our scientific research and cultural cooperation. I was very glad and delighted when we see Sudanese and Rwandan together at this university. So this university has a great potential as a cornerstone for our academic and cultural exchange and cooperation.
The University of Medical Science and Technology now offers medicine and dentistry studies, but is in the process of applying for accreditation to teach biomedical engineering and medical laboratory sciences. William Evans, Mutabazi, RTV News.
We are always glad when you're able to join us for the news. Stay with Rwanda Television for more programs. I'll be seeing you soon. Goodbye.